Fellow soil enthusiasts, I have a confession to make. For years, I was that gardener who declared war on every single weed that dared to show its face in my pristine garden beds. Armed with my trusty hoe and an endless supply of mulch, I fought the good fight against nature's uninvited guests. But here's the thing, I was completely wrong and my soil paid the price. It wasn't until I noticed something remarkable happening in the neglected corner of my property that everything changed. The area I'd abandoned to weeds was absolutely teeming with earthworms, while my meticulously maintained beds were practically lifeless. That moment sparked a complete shift in my gardening philosophy, and today I'm going to share with you the 7 weeds that can transform your garden into an earthworm paradise. Before we dive into our magnificent 7, let's talk about why earthworms deserve the VIP treatment in your garden. These incredible creatures are essentially living soil factories processing organic matter and transforming it into nutrient-rich castings that plants absolutely love. A single earthworm can process its own body weight in organic matter every single day. Multiply that by the thousands of worms you could have working in your soil, and you're looking at a complete soil transformation system that works 24/7, completely free of charge. Earthworms also create extensive tunnel systems that improve soil drainage and aeration, allowing plant roots to breathe and water to penetrate deeply. Their presence indicates healthy living soil, the kind that produces vigorous plants and abundant harvests. Dandelions, the golden gateway to worm heaven. I know. Dandelions are probably the most vilified weed in suburban America, but hear me out. These golden beauties are absolute earthworm magnets, and once you understand why, you'll never look at them the same way again. Dandelions have incredibly deep taproots that can extend 3 feet down into compacted soil, breaking up hardpan layers that most garden plants can't penetrate. As these roots grow and eventually decompose, they create perfect highways for earthworms to travel deeper into the soil profile. The roots also mine nutrients from deep soil layers and bring them to the surface through the plant's leaves, which eventually fall and decompose into earthworm food. But here's the real magic. Dandelion roots exude compounds that actually attract earthworms. Research has shown that areas with established dandelions can have up to 300% more earthworms than areas without them. The key is learning to manage them strategically rather than eliminating them entirely. I leave patches of dandelions in less visible areas of my garden and harvest the young leaves for salads while the roots work their underground magic. Plantain, the earthworm's favorite highway. Plantain might look like just another boring weed to most people, but to earthworms, it's like a 5-star restaurant with excellent transportation infrastructure. These unassuming plants with their ribbed leaves and distinctive flower spikes create some of the most earthworm-friendly conditions you can imagine. The magic happens in plantain's root system, which forms dense, fibrous networks that earthworms absolutely love to tunnel through. As these fine roots constantly grow, die back and regrow, they provide a steady stream of organic matter for earthworms to consume. The decomposing root matter creates soft, organic-rich soil that's perfect for earthworm habitation. I've observed that soil under plantain patches stays consistently moist, another factor that attracts earthworms. The broad leaves create natural shade and reduce evaporation, while the root system helps retain soil moisture. In my garden, I strategically allow plantain to grow in pathways in areas where I want to improve soil structure, and the results have been honestly just phenomenal. Clover, especially white and red varieties, is really the nitrogen-fixing earthworm attractant every gardener should know about. These clovers definitely deserve a permanent place in any earthworm-friendly garden strategy. As legumes, clovers have this remarkable ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen, thanks to their relationship with beneficial bacteria in their root nodules. This whole process results in nitrogen-rich organic matter that earthworms just find honestly irresistible. But the benefits for earthworms go way beyond just the nitrogen fixation. Clover roots form an extensive network of fine, constantly regenerating root hairs, which means earthworms get a continuous food source. Plus, the soft, easily decomposable nature of clover roots makes them especially appealing to earthworms, who can process this organic matter quickly and efficiently. I've noticed in my own experience that areas where I've allowed clover to establish have not only more earthworms, but also healthier, more vigorous garden plants nearby. The combination of nitrogen fixation and earthworm activity creates these incredibly fertile soil conditions. That's why I now intentionally seed clover in my garden pathways and use it as a living mulch around perennial plants. Purslane, often called a weed by many gardeners, is actually the succulent earthworm magnet you might be overlooking. This plant, with its thick fleshy stems and leaves, breaks down into rich mucilaginous organic matter that earthworms find absolutely delicious. And honestly, the key to purslane's earthworm attracting power is in its rapid growth and decomposition cycle. It grows incredibly fast, constantly dropping leaves and stems that decompose quickly, especially in warm, moist conditions. This creates a steady supply of fresh organic matter that keeps earthworm populations well fed and thriving. What's particularly interesting about purslane is how it changes soil moisture dynamics. The plant's succulent nature means it stores water in its tissues, and as these tissues decompose, they release moisture gradually into the soil. This creates the consistently moist conditions that earthworms need to thrive, even during drier periods. Chickweed, the earthworm nursery. Chickweed might be small and delicate looking, but it's a powerhouse when it comes to creating earthworm-friendly environments. This low-growing annual creates dense mats that provide perfect cover and moisture retention for earthworm activity. The magic of chickweed lies in its growth pattern and decomposition characteristics. It grows rapidly in cool, moist conditions, creating thick carpets of soft, nitrogen-rich plant material. As older growth dies back and new growth emerges, there's a constant cycle of decomposition happening right at the soil surface, exactly where many earthworm species do their most active feeding. I've found that soil under chickweed mats stays remarkably soft and workable even in areas that were previously compacted. The combination of the plant's shallow root system and the earthworm activity it generates creates beautifully structured soil that's perfect for transplanting seedlings or direct seeding. Lamb's quarters is often overlooked as just another garden weed, but this remarkable plant is actually one of the most nutritious wild edibles you can find. And honestly, earthworms know it. The high mineral content that makes lamb's quarters so valuable for human nutrition also makes it incredibly attractive to earthworms. This plant's deep taproot system mines minerals from deep soil layers, concentrating them in the leaves and stems. When these nutrient-dense plant parts decompose, they create mineral-rich organic matter that earthworms eagerly consume. The result is earthworm castings that are exceptionally rich in essential plant nutrients. I've observed that areas where lamb's quarters grow produce some of the most nutrient-dense earthworm castings in my entire garden. Plants grown in soil enriched by these castings show remarkable vigor and disease resistance. The key is harvesting lamb's quarters strategically, taking young leaves for your own use while allowing some plants to complete their life cycle and feed the earthworm population. Wild violets might seem too pretty to be called weeds, but these charming little plants are incredible earthworm attractants. Their heart-shaped leaves and delicate flowers belie their powerful soil-improving capabilities. Violets create ideal earthworm habitat through their unique growth characteristics. They form dense colonies with shallow, fibrous root systems that create soft, organic, rich soil conditions. The leaves decompose relatively quickly, providing steady nutrition for earthworm populations, while the plant's low-growth habit creates the shaded, moist conditions earthworms prefer. What makes violets particularly valuable is their ability to thrive in partial shade and cooler conditions where many other plants struggle. This means you can establish earthworm-friendly habitat in areas of your garden that might otherwise be underutilized. I've found that violet patches serve as earthworm reservoirs that help populate nearby garden beds with beneficial worms. The key to successfully using these weeds to attract earthworms isn't to let your garden become completely wild, but rather to strategically incorporate them into your overall garden design. I designate specific areas, maybe along pathways, in corners, or around the edges of cultivated beds, where I allow these beneficial weeds to establish and thrive. The most important factor is changing your mindset from seeing these plants as enemies to recognizing them as valuable partners in soil building. Each of these 7 weeds offers unique benefits for earthworm populations, and the cumulative effect of having several species working together is truly remarkable. Remember, healthy soil is the foundation of any successful garden, and earthworms are your most valuable allies in creating and maintaining that healthy soil. By working with these 7 weeds instead of against them, you'll be amazed at how quickly your soil transforms into a thriving ecosystem that supports abundant plant growth. The earthworms are out there, waiting to transform your garden soil. Give them the habitat they need with these 7 remarkable weeds, and watch as your garden becomes more productive, more resilient, and more alive than ever before. If this article has opened your eyes to the incredible potential of working with beneficial weeds, I'd love to hear about your experiences. Subscribe to Soilsage Chronicles for more soil building strategies that actually work, and don't forget to share this article with fellow gardeners who are ready to revolutionize their approach to soil health. Together, we can build better gardens from the ground up.